It has been an anxious few weeks in Imo State in the southeast as a result of an upsurge in what many have described as terrorist attacks on public institutions and facilities. Police stations have been primarily targeted by those attacks, leading to widespread concerns that history might be repeating itself, bearing in mind how the dreaded Boko Haram terrorist sect emerged over a decade ago in the country's northeast. The worst seems to be over, but questions continue to linger regarding the nature and intention of what happened in Imo State. Were those attacks really a manifestation of the long-running separatist agenda being championed by the proscribed indigenous people of Biafra, IPOB? Were those attacks the handiwork of fifth columnists from outside of the southeast with some kind of sinister political motive? Well, joining us now to provide answers to those posers and a lot more is Professor George Obiozor, President General Ohanaeze Ndigbo, the Pan-Igbo Socio-Cultural and Political Organization. Professor Obiozor is a former Director General of the Nigerian Institute of International Affairs and a former Nigerian Ambassador to the United States and Israel and High Commissioner to Cyprus. Welcome to the program, Professor Obiozor. Good morning, Prof.
Thank you very much. I'm so glad to be here.
Well, Prof, it's a pleasure seeing you, and let's use this opportunity to congratulate you on your emergence as President General of the Ohanaeze Ndigbo. Since you assumed that position, this is the first time you will be on the morning show. So it's good to be talking to President George Obiozor of the Ohanaeze Ndigbo. Good morning.
Thank you very, very much. I'm so glad. And I thank you for your support and congratulations. Yes. Definitely, I'm here in Abuja to thank Igbos in Abuja and the 19 northern states for their support for my election as President General Ohanaeze Ndigbo. I'm also very delighted to thank you and many of my friends across the country for the support. As you know, Ohanaeze Ndigbo is the apex organization of Ndigbo culturally, and our objective is for peace, stability and peace, and peaceful coexistence in the country. My first statement has a summary of everything we believe in concerning Nigeria, that Igbos are not at war with Nigeria or has any instrument of any kind anywhere seeking a separate existence from Nigeria. Under that condition, I would also like to know the fact that until recently, actually about a few weeks ago, Southeast has been the most peaceful section of Nigeria, of all the 6 zones. So one is completely shocked and surprised at the same time as to all of a sudden some elements, as you yourself suspected, either fifth columnists from anywhere or internal, want to turn the Southeast into an insecure environment for both the people and the country. Anyway, what you said earlier concerning that crime is very touching in the sense that I sincerely believe that under normal circumstances, when a crime is committed, the first thing to do is to find out the nature of the crime. The nature of the crime will lead you to the kind of suspects you may have, and those suspects, you begin to eliminate them based on capacity, strategic capacity to commit such crimes. I think that is where we should go to search for what is happening or what happened in Southeast. And concerning your mention about political motive, indeed, you know, one of our late academicians, one of our best and brightest, Professor Claude Ake, he said that Nigeria is over politicized but undergoverned. That statement he made several years ago still holds. The idea of politicization of everything in Nigeria, including the issue of insecurity and security, has been so politicized that sometimes it's very confusing to know who is the criminal or which type of crime can any political motivation lead to. But the truth is that it is time for the country to reflect and begin what I consider as national healing. A lot of grievance across the country, and it's not good. A nation does not subject itself or allow itself to be subjected to permanent crisis. Today, the crisis in Nigeria has been reduced to a situation that can be described as a national question crisis, and it's a very difficult problem to handle. We must be careful.
Well, Prof, obviously you are not one of the secessionists who think that a Republic of Biafra should be carved out of Nigeria at this time. But I wanted to ask you about the security situation in the Southeast. And you were reported as having been at the table when the governors of the 5 states of the Southeast took the decision to establish a Bubeagu, which has now been opposed by IPOP and members of the Eastern Security Network. How come, the governors and your good self did not consider carrying them along?
Let me cut you short there. Definitely, I congratulate the Southeast governors and many people in Southeast support the governors for the establishment of a Bubeagu, a Southeast security apparatus. Believe me, they have no competitor and they have no rival. As a matter of fact, you cannot compare them to an establishment by one organization, which is part of Southeast. The IPOP young men are our sons. We cannot deny them. If they are doing anything in the interest of Igbos, definitely they have our support. There's even no quarrel between them and many people in Igbo land, except there's a difference in method. You cannot, in a situation that concerns all Igbos, you act unilaterally with a method that can be harmful to others, even harmful to the cause we're all fighting for. Justice, equity, fairness. That is the issue. The issue is not organization. Who forms what organization? Or who is using what organization? For me as an individual, many are called, few are chosen. The Southeast government, it has the authority, the legitimacy, and indeed the overall responsibility to protect the interest, security, and well-being of all the people in the Southeast, including IPOP and the Eastern Security organization they have formed. So the whole idea is a matter of hierarchy of responsibility and hierarchy of authority. You can't compare part with a whole. So it is mischievous to compare the two.
And
it is misnomer.
And yet, IPOP is making comparisons and issuing threats that anybody who joins the Bubeagu is betraying ESN and will join their ancestors. That is a threat to life. So you have an accommodating stance.
Well, anyway,
but they don't feel that way about one another.
My dear journalist, see, what I want to tell you, I'm not the spokesman of any of the groups. What I'm advising is as the father, as a Nigerian, as an Igbo patriot, as an elderly statesman. Zeke used to say, forget what is written on a motor. That is those lorries in those early days, lorry. Nothing without labor. Written on vehicles that were plying on nature Lagos. He said, forget what is written in the motor, go enter the car. The whole issue is that the Southeast governors, with the legitimate authority, has actually taken over the issue of handling the security situation in Southeast. I don't want to discuss threat. What I will advise is that the IPOP and others think twice and indeed come down. They are one of us. I must listen to some of us and then agree to the level of cooperation so that we will achieve our objective. We have a common objective. What is dividing us is a method. And that can be negotiated internally among our people.
No, but
once
sir,
the common denominator is given.
But sir, you say you have common objective. IPOP
go ahead.
secession. IPOP wants secession. Yeah. They want to leave Nigeria. So if you say you have common objective, do you want to leave Nigeria?
It secondly, is how it depends. Every issue. Hold on, because you are jumping too much into conclusion. Believe it or not, you haven't offered the IPOP self-determination and they rejected, have you? So the whole idea that sometimes journalists make matters worse for in a political situation like this. What IPOP will be talking about in creating a situation when it becomes political, you go between the irreducible minimum requirement and the maximum demand. The whole issue is that I am recommending, and I sincerely believe, that it is time for the country to begin healing, to reduce the level of crisis, the level of anger among the youth. And so some of these emphasis on extremism must be taken into consideration as part of the process of reconciliation.
Okay, sir. Sir, you're speaking as a father, which is great. We want peace. You want peace. But the facts on ground are different. What are the facts on ground? We cannot push away the fact that Oyibo happened in Rivers State. We can't push away the fact we can't push away the fact that Oyibo happened in Rivers State. What happened in Rivers State? That some members, of IPOP were hurt. There was back and forth with the military. We can't push away that fact. We can't also push away the fact that Owerri happened. That the then Inspector General of Police was so quick to say it was IPOP that did it. We can't push away that fact. We can also push away the fact that there have been statements, like Tundu pointed out by Emma Powerful, that ESN is there to protect the people in the East, and that anybody that says otherwise, that the Bubeagu will not work. So these are the facts on ground. I know you want peace, but you keep saying you don't want to speak to these issues.
Let me be frank with you before you go into this litany. Hold on, my friend. You are not giving lecture. Don't go into this litany. To be honest with you, I have tried to use some level of a proverb to give you a sense of direction. Not everything that, leave everything that bites you in the night, let it be mosquito. All these litany of things you are doing, they have one source. The source is as violence across the country. and is spreading. And for those who believe in a national peace and unity, our focus should be solution. Whatever anybody is saying will be taken into consideration. That is their position. But the position you are mentioning is not the position of Igbos. Or do you think that the statement the former Inspector General made is IPOP, is a conclusion of how many hours of investigation? You yourself, I think you're an academician. A matter happens 24 hours before the Inspector General announces who did it. And did you hear from the IPOP people that they said they didn't do it? Did you hear that? In a Owerri thing, a Owerri incident. So when you move into from one sin to another, that is what is causing emotional escalation of the conflict in the country. We have to sit down, reflect, and then look for solution.
So I'm going to ask more pointedly,
because there's too much prejudice.
I'm going to ask you more pointedly whether Ohanaeze has the same beliefs as IPOP and whether you, Professor Obiozor, believe in Biafra.
In fact, there is Biafra in every Nigerian who is looking for justice, fairness, and equity. So whatever your interpretation may be, you ask yourself, what is the meaning? Even in the reality of Biafra, or haven't you seen the reality yourself? Across the whole country, there is a mayhem of a kind. You don't know it. I don't know where you come from in Nigeria, but maybe you don't know that there's a Biafra in your neighborhood. People seeking for justice across the country. In fact, it's not only in the southeast that you have secessionist movement. In fact, the joy of what is happening in the Yoruba land is that they are unused to listen to their leaders and cooperate with their leaders, as you can see. In the southeast, people are trying to put a complete wedge between the southeast youth and the elders, and then making it look as if the authority of the youth supersedes that of their fathers. That we shouldn't listen to them, they shouldn't listen to their fathers. And this your emphasis about this kind of question is actually questioning the authority of parents over their children. And so that is part of the exacerbation of the crisis of indiscipline. What I'm trying to let you know, and sincerely believe in it, is that whatever anybody is doing for the good of Igbos, that is welcome, provided the method meets the standard of civil behavior, the standard of nonviolence. You understand me? But all this question of which one is better to choose, you don't choose between life and death, do you? You are not God. The truth of the matter is that I congratulate the Southeast governors for Ibubago. They should go ahead and see how best to secure the Southeast and make it what it used to be, the most peaceful zone in Nigeria. That's what we want.
Well, Prof, I see you continue to evade.
That is what is important.
Prof, I see you continue to evade the question about whether you believe in secession or not, and whether you sympathize with IPOB or not.
I definitely don't believe in secession at all.
Okay.
I have never told you I believe in secession. And I've never spoken about... In fact, if you were listening, the first thing I told you was the Igbos are not at war or have any instrument anywhere seeking a separate existence. How far can I go in defining myself and my people? over secession. Because those who target this secession have political motives to denigrate the Igbos, deny us our citizen rights, our fair share of opportunities within Nigeria.
Well, Prof.
So this secession, who is more secessionist in Nigeria than other regions than in the country? If you have studied the history of Nigeria, every section of Nigeria, every region in Nigeria has been secessionist. But they are not tagged like that.
Well, Prof.
It's in Igbo land that you can ask me about secession and tell me to choose whether I believe in secession. How many times did you ask anybody like that from another section of Nigeria?
No, we do. In fact, on this program, we do.
What is it? Listen, because some of you are part of the national problem. Some of you are part of the national problem because you sectionalize the Nigerian problem and Nigerian politics as if it's a target to injure a group. Who told you that if you take a census in Igbo land today, everybody, I have written several times that the majority of Igbos actually prefer one Nigeria. How far can anybody go? And you're asking me whether I'm for secession with such a bluntness and the boldness. And then somebody who started his statement by telling you, so when you people want to emphasize the negative, who told you all people in the IPOP want secession? They want justice, just like the rest of Igbos. They want the country's attention to relative deprivation that Igbos have faced, to the glass ceilings that prevent Igbos from reaching certain goals within their own country. That's what the IPOP and the Biafra people are talking about. But the whole issue is that you don't understand the political implication of it. Then you go into this rampage of secession. Igbos are basically business-oriented. They love big countries. They love space where they can do the business. They are everywhere. In fact, it is clear that the most federating people in Nigeria are the Igbos. So why are you always trying to fix Igbos as secessionists and asking me such a bold question about whether I believe in secession? What kind of statement is that? Well, I would advise you not to ask any Igbo leader such a question again about secession.
Prof, well, you were talking about...
the young men you talk about, you talk to them.
Well, Prof, you were talking about sectionalizing issues. Well, this one may sound sectional, but it's a topic that is out there in the front burner of public discourse. Igbo presidency. Under your watch, what is the agenda of the Ohanaeze Ndigbo?
Good. That is a good question. That is fantastic. We support the Igbo president with open arms. Even, in fact, it is the most important thing that will happen to Igbos. Finally, it is our turn by the grace of God. And we are going to work for it so hard. We will talk to other parts of Nigeria to give us a chance because it is right and is reasonable and is deserving and is timely. In fact, it is wonderful to consider it done by this time. So Igbo presidency is our agenda.
As you talk to other parties, individuals and political parties, are there any names that you are fielding at the moment of possible presidential candidates? Yes, sir.
You know, my dear girl, I must confess, we don't say such things on the television. I just want to say here now and guess names for political power. I think you don't understand the issue. Nobody should name anybody, even if you have any in mind. It is so premature to do so. In politics, my dear girl, tomorrow is eternity. So you have to handle it with care.
So speaking of names, you've been able to point out you've been able to point out the fact that yes, what Ohanaeze Ndigbo wants is Igbo presidency. It's not what IPOB wants. And,
yes.
And what IPOB wants is, because you used the phrase.
Is what? Is that what?
You said what IPOB wants is just attention seeking. They want people to. They are drawing the attention of the general public.
And I didn't. Don't put words into my mouth.
No, sir. But you
don't
said,
put words into my mouth of attention seeking. They're seeking. They're not seeking attention. They're seeking to achieve concrete result in terms of fairness, equity, and peaceful coexistence based on justice.
Okay.
You see,
it's still the same thing we said, sir.
Don't misinterpret other people's goals with your own goals.
I don't have any goals.
Don't give other people.
I don't have any goals here, sir. But
okay, don't give people assignment.
I don't have any other assignment to give you. But real quickly, let's move to it because of constraint of time. In the spirit of naming,
yes,
would Rotimi Amechi qualify to be an Igbo man for you to seek presidential office? This one we're having a conversation
no
of Igbo
answer.
presidency.
No comment.
Amechi.
No comment, I said. Go ask him, not me.
Okay. But Prof,
still
on the question of Ibubiago, which you support very much. What is the plan?
I support very
what
strongly.
Is the plan? We've just had the naming of that security outfit. We've not seen consequential action in terms of legal backing, in terms of legislation, in terms of structure. Do you know certain details that you would like to share with us in terms of what structure the 5 governors of the Southeast are proposing?
To be honest with you, wait and see is what I'll tell you.
Oh, so the announcement is just adequate, and it's after the announcement that the governors will begin to think about the proposal?
You ask the governors that question, but what I'm trying to tell you, I'm not in a position to give you the plan, the game plan of Ibubiago. Just wait and see. Have some patience with them. It was just announced about a few weeks ago.
Okay. So I just want to ask you, are Igbos outside of, what you might deem Igbo land, part of the Igbo agenda, maybe across the Niger, are they part of this agenda? And secondly, since Ibubiago has come on board, now what happens to the ESN?
You ask them too. See, I think I should answer questions for everybody. No. Those who form ESN have their own objective. You ask them. Now that the state governors have an organization that is overacting, what would they do? Ask them yourself. I can't answer for them.
So other Igbos across, the Niger...
If they hold on, as a father, if they come to me and say, now, what do we do? I would advise them, but not on the television.
Yeah, but the question he raised, are Igbos outside Igbo land, outside those 5 states, Igbos in Rivers, for example, do they qualify as Igbos? Are they regarded as part of the agenda, as part of the community, rather than outsiders in either Delta or Rivers?
This seriousness about dividing Igbos. Igbos everywhere have the same destiny. They suffer the same fate. They have the same historical perspective. In fact, they have one thing uniting them, a sense of grief and history. So don't ask Igbo anywhere, even Igbos in America, Igbos in Australia. So take it from me, the destiny of Igbos is a collective destiny. Okay. What affects one Igbo affects another.
Okay, so what you're saying to me...
Just like at one level. At another level, Igbos and the rest of the Nigerians share Nigerian destiny. What affects one Nigerian affects another. So what you are talking about is levels of loyalty.
Okay, so I just quickly want to ask this. You said it's the same collective fight for justice the IPOB too is after. So the IPOB will support an Igbo presidency, right?
What?
The IPOB too will support an Igbo presidency. IPOB will support an Igbo presidency.
I would hope so, but ask them if you see them. I would hope so, but ask them if you see them.
But you said it's the same fight. You said you have a collective effort. So that's why I'm asking you this. You said what you're fighting for, or Ohanaeze and what IPOB is fighting for, is the same collective effort, to fight for injustice against the Igbos. So I'm asking you now. So IPOB will support an Igbo presidency?
Definitely, I think so, but ask them if you see them. Okay. I would believe that, but ask them.
Okay, Prof.
I'm not their spokesman. They have plenty of spokesmen.
Okay, Prof. You certainly believe in the idea of a united Nigeria that is established on the pillars of justice, equity, and fairness to everyone.
Fantastic. You got me right now.
Yes, but what are those specific...
You got me right. Yes, that's exactly the truth.
Yes, but what are those specific things that you think... What are those specific things that you think Nigeria needs to do to rescue the country from this current drift that everybody is complaining about? Is it restructuring? Is it federalism? What ideas do you have in that regard?
It's simple. I've been speaking on the same topic for years, the same issue, because history has a way of developing a law of seriality. Nigerian problem has been diagnosed over and over, and the solutions also known. But there's no political will to solve them. In recent years, for example, 2014, there was National Conference. And the National Conference report, believe me, would have been a national landmark, a milestone to solve Nigeria's federal system problem, nationality question. The trouble is, most of the issues that came out of that conference were brought out through consensus. In the end, some people saw it as a threat to their own interest. And when a powerful group find something as a threat to their power base, they will scuttle it. No, people, in politics, what makes a nation stable is concession and complementarity. But then, our political elites resist them and prefer to be incoherent elite and govern with hostility of position and reciprocal suspicion. So they refuse to face the reality of national solution to problems. In other words, in all sincerity, is Nigerian federal system working? I want those of us who keep pleading about Nigerian federalism working to ask us a question. Where are the successful federations that were formed by all European countries in Africa? Nigeria is lucky to be the only one that survived as of now. But it must solve its own problem in order to maintain it. It must solve the problem. We should not shy away from the issue of a nation, of a balanced system. Balanced system. And it will begin with government embracing the sense of justice and equity for all.
Sir,
that's all.
Sir, have you reached out to the Northern Elders Forum, Afenifere, PANDEV, other, social, cultural, social political groups like that across the country to try and build momentum and consensus towards an Igbo presidency in 2023?
In fact, before my election, Chief John Nwodo, one of our most dynamic former President General, they had done that a long way. And when I came in, I contacted my fellow president chiefs or leaders of the various organizations. And we are doing our best to convince them about our cause. And we'll do more. In this visit in Abuja here, I was able to visit Chief E.K. Clark, who endorsed the idea of a president from Igbo land very clearly. You must have read it in your paper recently.
Yes, sir.
E.K. Clark. Yes, and I made the other visits too. So we are doing our best, and we'll continue.
All right. Real quickly, I just want to know some of the things the Igbo people will want that will be looked at as justice has been done in Nigeria. So what are those things you feel will be done, even apart from the Igbo presidency, that justice will be done, that will make IPOB say we want to be part of one Nigeria, that the agitations will be over? What are those things? Can you just mention some of them, please, sir?
Well, Prof, we have just about 2 minutes to go.
Honestly speaking, what must be done in Nigeria to convince many Nigerians, not just IPOP or IOP, as you said. Listen, what is good for the geese is good for the gander. You understand? The whole issue is equal opportunity in this country and the equal right of citizenship. In fact, justice seemingly done or seen to be seemingly done across the country will change many people's mind. The problem of Nigeria can be solved either through structure or through leadership. Any of these two can solve Nigerian problem.
But the specifics, sir, the specifics.
We are not the first to have problem. Every country has a national problem.
Well, we don't seem to have
and
more
they
time.
decide on how to solve it.
Well, Prof, would like to thank you very much. One of our viewers sent a text message saying we should be talking about a Nigerian president of Igbo extraction rather than an Igbo president. And I think that that person has a point there. But we'd like to thank you very much and wish you well as you continue to lead the social cultural organization Ohanaeze Ndigbo. Thank you very much, Prof, for joining us.